Okay, let's go quarterback controversy. We waited this long. One theory is that the 49ers want to bring back Brock Purdy next week. That they held him out this long. They're paying him a lot of money. They've been cautious. It's been 6 weeks. It's the Arizona Cardinals. They're not good. And that's like a soft launch for the Brock Purdy experience. That's a smart way to bring him back. And he's so much better than Mac Jones. I just don't see how bringing back rusty Brock Purdy is going to make the offense better. But you know what? I'd love to see it. As long as the Niners are making bad personnel decisions and playing the wrong people, bring back Brock. Let's see. Because you know what? None of us really know what it's going to look like. I don't. They don't. Brock doesn't. I'd love to see. Play him. I double dare you. Bench Mac. He just completed, 83% of his passes today? He played great. He threw a pick on 4th down. An incomplete pass is a turnover in that situation as well. He played great. Brock wouldn't have played any better. He's a really good quarterback. Is he better than Brock? I think he is. Sam Darnold was better than Brock too. And the Niners had him. And they never really gave him a legit look, and now he's gone, and he's kicking ass. That might have been the quarterback they needed. And he's about half the price of Brock, but he's gone. Now you got Mac, who's about like a 20th of the price of Brock. And he's playing great. And he hasn't had a running game all year. He even made a Brock Purdy-esque touchdown throw where he stepped up in the pocket and rolled around and bought time. And that was a really nice play. That's the kind of thing people say he can't do. He can't make a guy miss in the pocket. He can't extend a play. Can't go off script. He can do everything the Niners need a quarterback to do, and he can do it for cheap. And he's healthy, and he can keep playing. You don't have to worry about him hurting his toe or his elbow or shoulder or his ribs. Or if he does, guess what? He'll be out there the next week. That's the biggest difference between Mac and Brock. You really want to sit a quarterback who's healthy and on a heater for a quarterback who played like shit the last time he was on the field and gets hurt a lot. Go for it. I'd love to see how that works out. It might be really smart. It sounds really dumb, but it might be really smart. My guess, though, is that it's not going to happen like that. I don't know. I keep oscillating back and forth on it's not as bad as they say it is, and it's way worse than they say it is. Brock's an injury. They're downplaying it. They're overplaying. I get the feeling it's really bad. I heard that they gave him a workout before the Falcons game, before that game. And they thought it was the final hurdle. And that workout went really bad. Like he was in a lot of pain. So I don't know, maybe they'll try again. Maybe it'll be better. But I get the feeling that it's really bad. And they don't want to say it. It's worse than they're letting on. And I don't think he's going to play next week against the Cardinals. I think they want to sort of control the discourse on this. They don't want people to know. Again, I'm just guessing. Maybe he plays next week. But instead of putting him on IR and letting people, just go to town with criticism for the organization about getting their franchise quarterback injured so quickly, they just say, yeah, we hope we'll play next week. We hope. They're hopeful. They say that every week. We're really hopeful he's going to play this week. He's getting a lot better. He's getting close. And then afterward, it's like, yeah, he wasn't going to play. If Mac Jones weren't playing as well as he is, Brock Purdy's injury would be the story of the season for the 49ers. And it would, first of all, they wouldn't be winning, but like the fact that they re-injured Brock's toe and potentially, jeopardize his career, because turf toe has ended careers. That would be the story of the season. They wouldn't be talking about coach of the year. Although I think that's out of the window now. After a loss like that, forget coach of the year. Maybe Sean McVay. What he's doing with 13 personnel is pretty cool. But yeah, I think they have Every opportunity not to make the wrong decision. Brock's hurt. That's the excuse. Keep going with Mac. Figured out in the offseason. Tom Brady said stick with Mac before the game. What were his numbers in this game? 33 of 39 for 319, 3 touchdowns, a pick, and a 115 quarterback rating. It's pretty good. You think Brock would have done better against the Rams? Maybe. I just think it's funny how George Kittle comes out after the game and says, Mac's good, but Brock's a lot better. And there's a reason we paid him so much. George, you didn't pay him anything. Am I the only one that feels like George says way too much? You're not the coach of the team. You're not the GM. He talks like he's Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. It rubs me the wrong way. I know he's a future Hall of Famer and a grown man and a captain on the team. But at a certain point, you got to know your role and play your position. Talking about this, why we paid him so much? Man, what are you talking about? You play tight end. After the game, someone asked Jawan Jennings, what do you think of Mac Jones' performance today? He said, man, I play wide receiver. I run routes. I thought that was such a fair answer. What do you want me to say? Ask Kyle Shanahan what he thought of freaking Mac. What did I think of Mac Jones? We lost. I was running routes. Sometimes he threw me the ball. Sometimes he didn't. I don't know. I'll watch the film, I guess. Kittle's over there talking about the roster construction and the rest of the season and then which quarterback's better than the other. Man, just worry about being better than Jake Tonjes. But seriously, he's starting to talk like Mike McGlinchey. That was my biggest gripe with Mike McGlinchey. He would talk like he put the team together and then coached it. It's like, man, you can't even handle your matchup. Why are you doing big picture? Does it really help the team for George Kittle to go to the freaking podium and be like, look, our other quarterback's way better. Wait till he gets back. He might not be coming back. You need Mac. I don't think that helped. And you kind of see why Fred Warner is a better leader than anyone. He would never say something like that. Yeah, we might not get Brock Purdy back this year. We might be stuck with Mac Jones for the rest of the year, but and Mac's good, but he ain't Brock. Thanks, George. That was very helpful. All right, let's take 26 super chats. Nate, member for 50 months, says, hey, Kyle, John, we still good on edge rushers? I just don't understand the logic. You love your offense. You think you have a Super Bowl elite offense. Your defense isn't good enough. So why even try? Let's squander the year. Let's squander a Super Bowl offense. Shardall's been a member for 6 months. Love you, Shardall. It's Nick for real says, if we didn't pay Brock, maybe we'd have a defense. I feel like everything that's happened this year has reinforced the why you don't pay a quarterback this much money. The only time you pay a quarterback this much money is if it's Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. There are 4 or 5 exceptions. Justin Herbert. Otherwise, you don't freaking do it. Why? Because then you don't have a defense. 2 players get hurt and you give up 42 points. Also, look what Mac Jones can do for $4 million. Look what Sam Darnold is doing in Seattle for $30 million. There was no way that Brock Purdy was going to be exponentially better than this stuff. Look what Baker Mayfield's doing for $30 million a year. So many reasons never to do that ever again. Vin Wynn says, can someone tell me who is Clifford and what's he doing in there instead of Martin? Hey, man, all they're telling us is that Martin is terrible, and I'll believe him. Another reason they should trade their 3rd-round picks. Johnny says, can you imagine how pissed fans will be if the Rams or Seahawks win the Super Bowl in Levi's? Well, guess what? Can you imagine if Sam freaking Darnold wins the Super Bowl right there? He was on the Niners. That's another quarterback that Kittle thinks Purdy's better than. Is Purdy better than Sam Darnold? Maybe 2 years ago he was. Propa says, Grant, I'm in my 20s. I'm bad at football, so I'm starting to worry that John Lynch might draft me. He seems to avoid good players. I'm not ready for the league. I swear I don't fit the wide nine, John. Propa, good luck. John, stay away. Alex Toussaint says Christian Wilkins is a free agent. Should we consider him? Yes. Beggars can't be choosers. I heard some things that he's a little strange, but you know what? Maybe he'll do something strange for a piece of change. I'm just saying. CN List says that 4th and 1 run word of Jimmy G. Your plays sucks, man. Yeah, I agree. That was a terrible play. It's Nick for real says offense can't be good with this high school O-line. O-line did good today. Too much sausage. Is McVay a better coach than Kyle Shanahan? Yeah. Yes. TVU says should have traded CMC for Zeb Williams. I don't know who Zeb Williams is. Josh B says Jacob Cowing, 4th round, hasn't been on the field. Isaac Arendo, 4th round. Jordan James, 5th round. Jordan Watkins, 4th round. They throw these picks away. Josh B says, meanwhile, Howie goes all in for the Eagles. He sure does. Timothy Orr says, honestly, they showed some heart today. So many huge hits from the defense and gang tackling, albeit after giving up 10, 20 yards. It was really odd to see that level of heart on so many bad plays. Sad. I said it. They played better than they coached today. Lee Hollywood H donates $20. Thank you, Lee. Jed York and his family are the worst owners in football. I've been a fan of this team for over 50 years, but until Shanahan is fired, Lynch is fired, and Gel sells the team, I'm out. Eddie D wouldn't expect this. I feel you, man. Double B Studio says, oh, we don't have the 2 best defenders, Fred and Bosa, in the league. Well, neither does your opponent, so suck it up and coach. Thank you. Oh, my God. Like, having Bosa and Fred Warner is a blessing and a cheat code. You can't wave in the white towel because shit got real, because shit got hard. Every other team doesn't have those guys either. You have a bunch of players you drafted. Make it work. Or make a trade. Don't tell me you have a special offense and then do nothing for your defense. Tom Nelson says the Niners don't believe in Martin so much so they would rather allow Gifford to pretend to play coverage. Yeah, man. Like, would it be so bad to let Nick Martin get roasted like freaking whatever that Gifford did? Nick Martin could give up those catches too. What does Luke Gifford do well that he needs to be on the field playing defense? Pandemi Lovato says, is Kyle Juszczyk a core player still? I mean, he always has been, always will be, even if he's not on the team. Ace Trey says, stop using Juice like he's some threat. I've been saying that. Lee Hollywood H says, CMC is trash now, get rid of him. Lad McConkey just scored again, could have drafted him and he's healthy. Ricky stinks. The problem with Ricky, he's good when he plays, but he has a whole lot of soft tissue injuries all the time. That's a problem. Josh B says $120 million lost to injury. Kyle needs to justify the contracts by force-feeding certain players. Need to go to the Cardinals, strat and soft bench these players like they're doing with Kyler. I do feel like there's a lot of truth to that. Kyle needs to justify the contracts by force-feeding certain players, i.e. McCaffrey. Who wanted to give McCaffrey all that money when he was hurt? Maybe the guy who went to his freaking wedding. Maybe that was his wedding gift. Christian Ayala says, I trust Mac more than Purdy. Give this man an O-line. CM Top Flight says, Purdy can't come back this year. Mac is playing too well. Purdy is Purdy G now. Hey, man, I want them to bring Purdy back. That's the stupidest thing they could do. Please do it. I double freaking dare you. Change your quarterback. That'll change things. I'd love to see it. It's Nick for real says, players act like a coach because they don't have one. True. Timothy Orr says, with the defense this bad, would have been a good time to get Sebastian Valdez reps. Could he have been any worse than who Kyle and Saleh rolled out today? Let's see what we got. Same with Nick Martin. I think there's a lot of truth in that. You don't really know what you have. And there's another thing, like this roster politics across the board. Chase Lucas, what the fuck does he have to do to get on the field? He's been so good all year. Ronaldo Green got worked today. Upton Stout's been terrible in coverage all year. I think there's a legitimate chance that Chase Lucas is the second best cornerback on the team after Lenore, but we'll never know because of roster politics. That's why there needs to be a separation between GM and coach. The coach should be playing the best players no matter where they were drafted or how much they're getting paid. And if they're not doing it, there's a problem. And the Niners have had that problem for a long time. Remilia Sports Report, really enjoying this day, I'm sure, says if Brock played today, Rams scored 60 with 4 picks. Way to rub it in. Dis Brother Bob Kuh, been a member for 30 months. Thank you, Kuh. Abyss 007 says, who's better, CMC or Kyron Williams? Kyron Williams. El Pancho Loco says, Ronnie Lott had a pinky partially amputated so he didn't miss time. Brock, my toe hurts. You're saying he should amputate his toe. I don't think that's the way to go. Christopher Hengeller says, why didn't they quarterback sneak in the first quarter? I don't know. Great question. They went outside zone. Let's run sideways on 4th and 1. BF donates $2. Thank you. Yusuf Karimi says winning records in NFL don't come often. To give up at 6-3 is pathetic. This was supposed to be the healthy year. Watch someone go down next year. I've never seen a team more deflated at 6-4. That post-game locker room was depressing. They're 2 games over 500. Depressing. Brother Bob says, F them picks. We got the click. That's all we need. Abu Marco 23 says, with loss, we fell to the 8th spot in the NFC. Shit's about to get real for us, unfortunately. I think the Niners are on an unreal streak, right? Since 2002, I believe. Since 2002, they've either made the NFC Championship game or missed the playoffs every single year. They're not going to the NFC Championship game this year. Does that mean they're going to miss the playoffs or they're going to break the streak? I don't know. Dustin the Gale says, why did Kittle pause the press conference momentarily and say, that's tough for you to one of the reporters? Because Kittle stopped everyone from asking questions because the door was open. And then Cam was going to ask the question. But then when the door closed, someone jumped in and beat Cam to the question. And Kittle was like, sorry. But then Cam got the next question. I went after Cam. That's what happened. BF says is a new member. Thank you, BF. Richard Evangelista says the nerve of them to play Return of the Mac before commercial break. What are they going to play when Brock comes back? Is there a song called Return of the Brock? I don't think there is. And since there isn't a song called Return of the Brock, you can't do it.